Rumble, because,
Yeah.
like you say, he's been down there a long time now, and he's ready to go up. But yeah, I think you're right. I think the match will have to be physical, because they're booking it that way, aren't they? They're doing a smaller scale version of what Brock and Goldberg is, isn't it?
Yeah.
All those bodyguards in that ring doing this signing, making it look like it's going to be quite a physical ordeal. And, you know, if someone puts you out for a month, which like kind of what Joe did to Nakamura, that's another problem that we've had, because we haven't seen much of Nakamura. He's been the champ, but they had that injury where he was out for a few weeks, wasn't he? All signs point towards a very physical kind of main event.
Yep, absolutely. Just to talk about a few other things, I did read a little bit about, I always forget his name, but he's the Drifter who recently has come back onto TV. Elias Sampson, yeah. I was reading a lot of rumours say that he is getting a bit of a push, going to be getting a big push down there, by all accounts. I don't know how far that's going to go. But also, Matt, what have you made of the group Sanity? I mean, there's been lots of mixed reactions I've had from the emails. We have had a lot on it, and people were asking actually why we hadn't spoke about it. But I saw them. I've seen them a few times. I'm kind of into it, but I'm kind of not, because I just think this is like it's been something that's been a bit done now, and it's sort of Wyatt family-ish in a way. I don't know what I make of this yet. I don't know. I kind of look at it, Matt, and I think this is good in NXT, but I don't see anything past that for this sort of thing to go through, because how many times have we seen it where that comes on the main roster now? And you know, I just don't know how many times they can get away with having that when you see this depleted Wyatt family who's, you know, transformed so many times. But what's your take on it? And is it original enough for people to get into?
I would say, when I saw them, I quite was into it. For me, that will depend heavily on how well WWE learns from their sort of past mistakes and particularly from their competition. If they can look at the Wyatt family and go, well, we missed this opportunity there, and we missed this with Bray, that he's been too long without a heavyweight title. If they can look at all those things, and they can look at TNA and gone, well, you know, Broken Matt and Jeff versus Decay, that was a huge thing for TNA. You know, that was something that catapulted them, and people really got into it. If they can look at those things and think we can do something like that, but make it different enough to make it entertaining, then Sanity could be the building block for that. I think they do have a kind of interesting dynamic, because whereas like you look at the Wyatts and they're supposed to be scary and that, but Sanity is, because it's almost like they got a kind of like a bit of a mental kind of thing in their mind that's gone a little bit wrong. Particularly, I find Nikki Cross an interesting dynamic, which he just sort of gnaws on the ropes, something quite different.
I mean, I like the entrance is kind of cool. And the music is completely muffed up, which I kind of get why they're doing that. So, you know, there are good things to it. I just sometimes I think that they put too much into it, like too many talents into it, and you know, you don't know if it's going to work out. But hopefully, you know, I'll be wrong on it, and you know, it'll come off quite well with a bit of luck. Let's hope. And yeah, that will be NXT Takeover, which obviously comes from the WWE Network, which is on Saturday night, depending when you're listening to this podcast. So yeah, going to be looking forward to getting into that, watching that, and I hope that you know, it will fill out, because the arena is quite big, and it will show for sure if this is the first time that the Takeover hasn't sold out. You know, it'd be slightly disappointing, but I hope that they do a good show nonetheless. Matt, let's take some questions now. Let's break it up a little bit, because we've had, as I said before at the top of the show, had loads of emails coming in the last week or so, and I think we better get to some of them, Matt, and we've had some emails coming in live as well. So let's take the first one. This is from Ben from Aberdeen. Thank you, Ben, for emailing in. Who's written in, great Magnificent 7 guys, with the amount of key debuts in Survivor Series history, this being the 30th annual one, do you think there will be one this year? Any ideas who? I would love to see Joe come out and attack Lesnar. So Matt, when we did talk about Magnificent 7, we also spoke about the amount of debuts that have happened and taken place on Survivor Series, you know, a real who's who that have done that. Are they going to keep to tradition because it is the 30th one, Matt? Is there going to be a debut and like Ben said, could it be an NXT debut from being promoted already?
Oh, I don't know. Yes, a difficult one. I can't see there being much room for a debut. Maybe there is potential in the Rock versus Goldberg match for some sort of shenanigans to occur, and maybe they could go for another match. If that would be if they think that would be worth pursuing. But for me, I think the potential would have laid with SmackDown when they had to find that extra man, and the fact that they chose Shane over the possibility of a mystery man. I think a mystery man option, if they kept that secret until Survivor Series, that would have been the way to do it. Yeah,
I totally agree with that. That's a good call. Yeah, nonetheless, I would love to see if Joe come out and do something like that. Of course, I would, because you get the rub to somebody younger that's going to be an active wrestler for a change. So of course I'm always for that. But I don't know. I just, because of what we spoke about on NXT, I just don't see them doing that. Let's take another question now. This is from Brett. Something is really starting to annoy me about the WWE Network. It's like every month I'm hearing free, and yet since day one, when it was released in Canada, I've paid every single month. I feel like I may as well unsubscribe and get multiple months, or at least a minimum of 1 month free each time. I think WWE needs to think about their subscribers who have stayed loyal. Your thoughts? So this is an interesting one, Matt, because recently, and a friend of mine who dropped the WWE Network has been getting emails in, Matt. Direct emails from WWE saying, please come back, we'll give you 3 months free subscription. And the only thing I can think why they're doing that, Matt, is because at the turn of the year they want, they probably want to tell everybody how high their subscription number is, and to do that now, they're literally giving everything away free almost. I mean, it's gone from 1 month free now to 3 months. Is there? I mean, I'm hearing it a lot as well, Matt, and it's getting a little bit desperate. It seems from WWE, like to be keep doing this, these offers all the time. What's your take on that, Matt? And I mean, obviously it's winding up Brett, but are we all getting wound up slightly about this, or is this something that you just don't focus on?
No, I think you got a point there. I think they should do something for their loyal customers. I think it's particularly bad, like in the UK, because $9.99 in America is $9.99, but $9.99 over here is a bit more.
Yeah, actually, the same can be said for Canada. I think they pay more money as well because of their difference. So there's a lot of things to this.
I know it's a good catchphrase to have, $9.99, but if you are there and you've been loyal, then perhaps they could say each year we'll lower the price a little bit. Even if it was just like 50 cents. Come on. Keep your subscribers loyal, because some of us have been there for day one. And in the UK, man, our launch problems were terrible. We were sitting on the internet waiting for the thing to launch, only for it to say minutes beforehand, sorry, it's not coming on. Again.
I remember it very, very well. It was an absolute nightmare of a time because we were so anticipating it. No, I think you're quite right, Brett. I mean, in a way, you could probably get away with paying almost a whole year for nothing if you keep signing up under a different email address and different name. You could probably do that because, as my friend said, they must have emailed him back 4 or 5 times to try and get him back, and they're literally saying 3 months. No, it's not like you have to even, you're not under any contract to even stay with them after. It's literally you can cancel still. So, I mean, why not? I mean, the way WWE are doing this, they're almost kicking themselves in the foot. So, they have to be careful about that, WWE, because it's not like I see other sort of streaming services doing this to the point that they're doing it at. So they've got to be careful not to look too desperate here. Next question from Stephen. Royal Rumble is going to be in the huge arena of the Alamodome. I don't know if I pronounced that right. I can never do that. But yeah, in San Antonio. How will they fill this huge arena out? and how will they make sure they have enough big matches still left for WrestleMania? So it is a bit of a problem, Matt, because I mean this is going to be a huge arena. I mean they haven't had it there since 1997 when Shawn Michaels, he had the match with Sid, and from what I read up on that, because I knew this question was coming in, that if you go anywhere, WWE done some massive discounts that year to get people in. Now they're not going to do that in 2017, so they've literally got to put down some matches. And we've been getting some rumours, Matt. We've been getting some sniffs here and there. You know, Shawn Michaels and AJ Styles in October that photo went up. And again, I don't think AJ Styles sat at home and got bored and done that photo and put it up for everybody to see. I think that was completely the company of WWE. Somebody somewhere did that, and they posted that on his feed. That's just my take on it. Whether it's going to happen or not, I just wouldn't imagine AJ Styles would be bothered to do that. And secondly, Matt, now The Undertaker, who came back on SmackDown this week for the anniversary, I'm kind of to take it, Matt, that he might be sticking around a bit. And he likely, because I said to Matt, I had this little fantasy booking that I could possibly see him going in to the Royal Rumble and facing AJ, winning the title, and this gives John Cena the pursuit, the storyline. Not only will he get the match against The Undertaker, which we hoped for this year, but he will get that match, and he gets to sort of tie Ric Flair's record with it, so it puts the stakes up even more. But that's a huge fantasy type thing, but it makes sense because they are both on that brand. Matt, what's your feelings about the Rumble in general, and are they going to have enough to have some big marquee matches there, and then also at WrestleMania? Because last year's WrestleMania, Matt, or this year's WrestleMania was pretty bleak.
Yeah, well, I think for Royal Rumble, it's not really so much of a problem. I think what sells the Royal Rumble is the Royal Rumble match itself. The only time when you get to see the sort of 30-man over the top, and I know the last few years have been a bit disappointing with winners and that, and that's surely going to harm them when people can't trust them to actually do something. Because you think out of 30 men it would be random, but it's never quite random, is it? It's always a returning superstar or the one that they've been behind for quite a while. So if they can just do something to actually make us believe that with the smaller people have a chance, because that's what made it fun back in the day when people like Rey Mysterio could win it.
Sure.
And it wasn't seen and it wasn't expected. So things like that, if they can go back to those kind of routes, I'm all for that. But there has to be a main event as well. I'm saying that because as great as that Royal Rumble match is, main events like the one you mentioned with Triple H versus Mick Foley, stick out in your mind for quite some time, don't they? I mean, I'll always remember that main event. So if they can just needs to be one big name, doesn't it? And if they can get The Undertaker in the main event, wow, that's huge. That is huge.
Yeah, I think Undertaker or Shawn Michaels, that will do it for sure. For me anyway, that will definitely do it. So I just hope that they kind of, I mean, like Matt said, a lot of it is about the Royal Rumble match, but I do feel they may need that little marquee match just to make sure, because like we said, the last few Rumbles have been, as a viewer, have been a bit of a nightmare, so predictable to watch. So something a little bit different would be nice. In fact, I wouldn't mind it being the main event. The way the past few Royal Rumbles have gone. Next question is from Raul, or Raul, however you pronounce it. I'm saving up for WrestleMania. Now this is our question, Matt, because this is when I was talking to you about the packages, because Raul sent me the link to that the site I sent you to, and he was asking, the packages I've viewed seem high. Do you think the travel packages are reasonable? I'm unsure because I've never been to a WWE pay-per-view before, especially a WrestleMania. Great show, by the way. So thank you, Ralph. So Matt, well, I sent you the link, didn't I? Because I know that